Welcome. It is another beautiful day, and I've got my coffee. So let's watch some stuff.
Newly discovered possible alien technology. A Harvard astrophysicist, Avi Loeb, said that an alien craft had crashed into the Pacific Ocean in 2014. Some scientists are actually saying this was just an interstellar meteor, but Professor Loeb believes that the way this landed and the way that it projected into the certain part of the Pacific Ocean, that it was definitely some sort of aircraft, not of this world. Himself, some scientists, and a team of underwater archaeologists are actually going to the place where the meteor or the aircraft hit and going on an expedition to use magnets to pull particles of it up from the floor. The 10-kilometer part of the Pacific Ocean will be visited this year by his team. What do you guys think? Do you think this was some sort of meteor, or do you think it might be alien? Let me know in the comments, and as usual, there are no part two.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was some kind of an alien spacecraft landing, and they're going to go and check it out. And in about 25 years, we're going to have some kind of mysterious new technology. Oh, yesterday I had to cut the video short. There was a video about something like this, but there was a copyright issue, so I had to cut it out. Hey, I just want to take a second to tell you how much I appreciate you hanging out for today's coffee talk. If you're having a good time, I hope you'd consider hitting that subscribe button and come back tomorrow because I'm making a new video every day.
In 1951, the United States started the Invention Secrecy Act. This basically meant that any new invention that the United States deemed as a security threat could be completely hidden from the public. But there's a theory going around that a lot of these inventions may not necessarily be being hidden for our safety and our security, but for the sake of the US economy and the major corporations that will be threatened by the newer and better technology. Some of the speculated technology is the water fuel cell, which would allow a car to be completely fueled by water. Tesla coils, which was supposed to provide free energy to entire cities wirelessly, and anti-gravity technology, which would allow any vehicle to basically free float in the sky and go as fast or slow as it wanted to. Now, people could just be reaching, who knows for sure, but what if this is why they don't want us to know how advanced ancient civilizations were? Because if we knew that ancient civilizations had free energy and floating vehicles, we'd want the same thing too, and this would threaten the oil companies and the energy companies. Leave a like, let me know what you think.
I absolutely 100% unequivocally agree with that. There's all kinds of technology that is available, has been available, or once was available that the general public doesn't get because too many pockets would go dry. And that would just be a problem. All these multi-billion-dollar corporations suddenly going bankrupt. Government can't have it because they're funneling money into the government. And then the government would lose their money, right? Yeah, totally believe it.
Does inflation lead to population control? Hear me out on this. So everybody knows prices are way through the roof. Prices of gas, prices of housing, prices of food. And it's been this way for a while, and it continues to just get worse. So it's to the point now where people who are married or couples, whatever, can't afford to have children. Or if they have children, they have one and basically just struggle. Obviously, not everybody is struggling, but 95% of the people are. So I was thinking about this because I saw a report where even China is having problems with the birth rate. It's gone drastically down. This has also happened in Japan for the last couple decades. And it's happening here, but I think it might be based on prices, inflation. So now I'm just giving my opinion. I'm not saying this is happening. I'm just giving my opinion. Wouldn't this be a way for the powers to be to control the population by controlling the inflation? So if some group really wanted population control, they could just make it so expensive that the poor, which is actually most of us, can't afford to have children. And like I said, if you look it up, it's not just happening here in the US, it's happening around the world. Tell me what you think of this theory of mine, Booshkis. Is it possible? Could it be happening? Or am I just full of cheese? Okay, everybody, shabadoo!
That would be an interesting, or that is a very interesting point of view. that the government is actually causing inflation to encourage or discourage people from having children. But there is still government assistance for people who have children and don't have a job or don't make enough income. So I don't know if that necessarily helps. Now, if we were to cut off the government assistance and, hey, if you're the one that's dumb enough to pop out a kid you can't take care of, we're not going to take care of you, But then again, we'll have orphanages that are just overrun with children that people, had and didn't take care of, or find out that they can't take care of them. I don't know. It's a really, really double-edged sword that way, isn't it? But it is quite interesting, and it is absolutely true. It's difficult to raise children right now. I mean, it's not difficult to raise the children. It's difficult to afford children. But, you just know when to stop. Some people don't know when to stop. I guess that's the problem.
You had a coffee mug. The amount of space in that coffee mug has enough potential power to boil off all the oceans of the world. Those are called over-unity systems, or free energy, because once you get it tapped, it's just flowing. That means that every home, business, car, manufacturing, village in Africa would be able to have a device that would not be very expensive, frankly, to mass manufacture. No pollution, there's no radiation, and once you have the system, there's no cost. The bad news is that if you're an oligarch, a global oligarch, controlling the macroeconomic system, big oil, big global systems, if that technology were to be disclosed, it's a quadrillion dollars. It's $1,000 trillion or more in proven assets, oil, gas, coal, public utilities that are obsolete. It's like it's like a royal typewriter or a horse and buggy. The worst treasonous acts that have ever happened to any country that falls is from within.
That's pretty much the same thing that I just said about the other one, but I like how he talked about it a little bit more in depth, how this much of this energy or whatever can fit in here can power so much. And we can't have it. We can't have it because it cannot be monetized. Actually, it probably could be monetized, but a lot of the people that are currently getting money for the stuff that would fit in here, they're done.
Yo guys, you're not going to believe this, but they say this map right here is the real map that the powers that be have been keeping from us. And they say it's 178 worlds on this map. Let's get a closer look at this. So they say that we are in the middle, and that's the ice wall. And these are the lands beyond the ice wall. Now let's look at some of the names of these lands. So here's some lands on one side of the ice wall. Atum, Atien, that's the name of the ocean up there at the top, Ocean of Nu. Now here's the east side of the ice wall. You have this ocean and these lands right here. And here are some more lands. As you see Isis, Osiris, and check this out guys, human colony. Now this map is from this book called The Lands of Mars, 178 Worlds Under the Great Dome. You can get this book on Amazon. So guys, please do your own research. Check this out because I know this sounds crazy. Go check out the book, do your research. Peace, get woke, and keep rising.
Now, I don't know if we necessarily need to go getting woke or anything, but that is an interesting map. I don't think it's real, but the potential, what if that was? There's so many lands out there, and then it could be like where all these aliens are coming from, excuse my coffee cup, where aliens are coming from, and they're not actually coming from other planets, they're just coming from the other lands that we are all part of. That's an interesting concept. I don't think it's real, but it certainly is an interesting concept.
Have you ever heard of the Travis Waldron abduction in Snowflake, Arizona?
No.
Really?
No.
That is the biggest
There's
one.
so many abductions, though, that it's kind of hard to keep track of every single one.
This one they made a movie of. It's called Fire in the Sky.
Okay.
Okay, Joe Rogan talks about this one all the time. What happens is he's a logger, Travis, back in the 70s. They're out logging late at night. They're working late. There's like 6 of them. They're all hopped in this big pickup truck, right? All 6 of them in this pickup truck. They're driving. They start seeing lights as they're driving out of the Arizona mountains because they're loggers. So as they're driving out, they're like, what's that light? What's that light? They go, craft hovering. Travis gets out. Everybody's telling him, get back in the car. It zaps him. The UFO zaps him, knocks him down. They all leave him. They come back. He's gone. He was gone for 4 days. They interviewed him. I'm going to charge these guys with murder. These guys tell the sheriff, the FBI, everything.
I remember this one, yeah.
That we watched him get shot with this beam from this UFO, and they thought they were crazy. They almost charged these guys with murder. 4 days later, they drop him off in a telephone booth like miles from wherever they abducted him. And they get him, and they all took lie detector tests. Every single one of them passed it. Till this day, they've all passed them. Till this day. So the abduction was witnessed by 5 other guys. I mean, and if you watch the movie Fire in the Sky, if you get a chance, you'll love it.
Now, this is supposedly a true story. So Travis Walton actually wrote the book Fire in the Sky, A True Story. And then the movie, it was written a while back, and then the movie came out in like 93, I think it was. It's actually a really great movie. And I don't know, it's hard to tell if it's true. I want it to be true because I believe in aliens, and I think absolutely they're coming here and plucking us up and then dropping us back off and whoever knows where. Either way, it's a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it yet, go and see it. There's one scene in there that I remember my dad telling me about when I was like 15 or 16 years old. And he said there's a scene where they're doing their experiments. I won't ruin it for you if you haven't seen it. And that cured him of ever wanting to watch alien movies. And I waited so long to watch that movie. I think I just watched it within the last 5 to 10 years. And it's excellent. It's a great movie. What do you think? Do you think it was a true story? Do you think aliens are real? I want to know. I want to know what you think.
Do you think alien abductions have anything to do with the 500,000 missing people in the United States? Well, the map above is those 2 maps. The purple dots are missing people in the United States, and then the green, red, and blue are all UFO sightings, alien sightings, Bigfoot sightings, paranormal sightings in general. Please look at the pattern. Hold on, I have a couple more maps to show you to support this theory. So the bottom map is just the alien sightings, UFO sightings, Bigfoot sightings, all that, right? Top map is the missing people in the national parks. Please see the pattern, guys. Y'all can't say there isn't a pattern to this. Now check this out. Cave system on the bottom, missing people on the top. Where there is a massive cave system, there is a massive missing persons problem throughout the country. Now let's look at this map one more time. Look at how it follows the same pattern as the other maps. None of these maps should correlate. These maps are missing people, the cave system, and alien sightings. Why do those 3 maps look the same? Somebody let me know, please. Do all of these maps line up and coordinate because UFO abductions are directly correlated to missing people in our country? You let me know.
Like I said in a previous video, I don't watch the entirety of these videos until like right now. So at the very beginning, I knew what she was going to talk about, and I didn't want to be insensitive because people missing is nothing. There's nothing funny about it. It's devastating and it's haunting to the families and to that person. So I struggled with whether or not I wanted to keep this in, but for what it is, I think it is interesting since we are talking about conspiracies and aliens and stuff like that. So it is rather interesting how those coincidences arise or how those coincidences appear on that map there. And there's just a little food for thought, and I hope that wasn't insensitive, but at the same time, dude, right?
Right now I'm going to just read a quote from Edward Mendell House and what he had to say in a private meeting with Woodrow Wilson, president between 1913 and 1921, from the private papers of Woodrow Wilson. Quote, "Very soon, every American will be required to register their biological property in a national system designed to keep track of the people, and that will operate under the ancient system of pledging. By such methodology, we can compel people to submit to our agenda, which will affect our security as chargeback for our fiat paper currency. Every American will be forced to register or suffer not being able to work and earn a living. They will be our chattel, and we will hold the security interest over them forever by operation of law merchant under the scheme of secured transactions. Americans, by unknowingly or unwittingly delivered the bills of lading to us, will be rendered bankrupt and insolvent, forever to remain economic slaves through taxation secured by their pledges. They will be stripped of their rights and given commercial value designated to keep us a profit that will be none the wiser. For not one man in a million could ever figure out our plans, and if by accident one or two would figure it out, we have in our arsenal plausible deniability. After all, this is the only logical way to fund government, by floating liens and debt to the registrants in the form of benefits and pledges. This will inevitably reap us huge profits beyond our wildest of expectations and leave every American a contributor to this fraud, which we will call social insurance. Without realizing it, every American will insure us for any loss we may incur, and in this manner, every American will unknowingly be our servant, however begrudgingly. The people will become helpless without any hope for their redemption, and we will employ the high office of the President as our dummy corporation to foment this plot against America. Having established plausible deniability, even if people become enlightened that they had a remedy and pursued it, the attorneys, judges, and legislators could claim that they did not understand the people's claims, especially if the technical requirements for achieving it were not followed pursuant to statutory requirements, requiring the public schools to teach civics, government, and history classes out of federally approved, politically correct textbooks written by the publishing houses owned by the owners of the Federal Reserve would assure that the people would not discover the remedy for a long time, if ever. I would recommend that everyone read Fruit from a Poisonous Tree by Melvin Stamper, M-E-L-V-I-N, Stamper, S-T-A-M-P-E-R. That is Fruit from a Poisonous Tree. This is out of Chapter 2 of Fruit from a Poisonous Tree.
I know that was a long one, but I certainly am glad that I left it in. It was incredibly interesting. It just, if it is accurate, which I don't know if it's accurate or not, it just goes to show how the government does use all of us as pawns. You have to have a birth certificate. You have to have that social security number. You're a number. We're all a number. And that's our job, is to fund this government. And you can't do it unless you have a number. And if you have a number, then that means they're watching how you are doing it and what you are doing and making sure that they take their fair share. You're a number. You're a number and you're dollar signs. We all are. That wonderful news being said, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you had a great time, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Here's my cutting room floor.
3, 2, 1.
Freaking filthy from work. That's better. At which point do they stop having babies? Don't you think you have enough kids? Just stop having babies. Stop popping out babies you can't take care of. Just stop having babies. Now, I don't know that we necessarily need to go getting woke or anything. That's causing enough problems as it is. But I say but, and then I get lost. I said but. Plucking us out and then dropping us off wherever they want. I am too easily distracted today. I'm sorry. Okay, and I got distracted again. And then I did it again. All right, today's not my day. It's not only coffee time, it's also lunchtime because we worked early this morning. Beef with hot sauce. Delicious. All right. Aliens. Aliens, right?